Welcome back to another Jeff Reviews for You. And the video and audio you are hearing right now is coming straight from the eufyCam 3. But check this out. This is that sweet playground I built not that long ago. How cool, it's still up and running. Anyway, I know you're not here for that, and enough talking about this eufyCam 3. Let's get right into our review.
Here is our Eufy Security S330. This is also known as the eufyCam 3. This is a multi-cam kit. You can see this set right here has 2 cams and the home base 3. The cameras are supposed to be 4K. I should say you can customize your kit to have a whole lot more cameras depending on what you're looking for. What I like about this kit is it's virtually wireless, meaning they run off of solar power, charging an internal battery, so you're not powering these yourself. And I think all it needs is about 3 hours of sunlight to maintain that charge. This kit was sent to me for review and it retails for right around $549, and that's what you would get, the 2 cameras and home base 3. You can upgrade it to include an expandable, I think 8 to 16 terabyte storage drive, but that does not come with this particular unit. Here we are unboxed. You can see that we have our home base 3, we have our 2 4K cameras, a power plug, this is for the home base, and of course a ribbon cable for the home base because you have to plug this into your internet router, and that's why I have my mesh force back here in the background. I should say this did not come with the unit. This is something I already had, but that's what I'm gonna plug in the home base to. I also have some mounting guides, and if you want to put up your sticker letting everyone know that you have security monitored by Eufy. The first thing we have to do is actually set up our home base. I currently have a home base 2, so I'm going to pull that one out of service to install the home base 3. All right, so here we go. We're going to install our home base 3. You can see right here on my screen that my home base is offline, and that's because I unplugged it. So I'm going to have to reinstall my doorbell to the home base 3. Let's hit the plus. You can see our very first option right here is the home base. Let's click on that. We're going to go all the way down to the home base 3. We're adding it to our Jeff Reviews for You line. And we're just going to put HB3. And there we go. Hit next. So now we're going to power this all up. All right, so we have plugged in our unit just like we are supposed to. And you can see that there's now a red flashing light. We are going to wait for that.
Welcome to Eufy Security. Follow the instructions in the Eufy Security app to set up the system.
We've just been given our instructions, so we're going to continue on with the setup. All right, so we are connected. Let's hit next. Now we're going to connect our Wi-Fi router right here to the home base. What we're going to do now is when we hit next, it's actually going to have us scan in the QR code located on the bottom. So now that we very quickly scan that in, we're going to hold the button on the back to sync. And now our home base has been added. Now that we've been added successfully, we're going to hit next. This just shows an agreement for facial recognition stuff. I'm going to skip through that. Let's see if there's a firmware update and update it because there is one. We'll come back when this is finished. After the firmware installed, we deleted home base 2, and then which also deleted our doorbell camera. So then we had to reinstall the doorbell camera and hook it up to home base 3. Now we're all up and running again. Let's install these 4K cameras now. We're going to hit this plus. We can see where it says battery camera, and of course we are doing the S330 eufyCam 3s. Yes, we're installing to the Jeff Reviews for You home base. Okay, as you can see, it tells us to peel the sticker off the front of our camera. Let's just do one of them for now. All right, now it's going to tell us to keep this within or less than a meter from the home base. Let's hit next. Now we heard that asking us to press the sync button. I don't know if this actually has any charge. I'm holding the sync button down. Sure enough, there it was. I heard the beep.
Ready to add device.
Well, that's exciting. Now I hear some really awful high piercing noise, and I think it was discovering the camera.
Device was added successfully.
Oh, that's exciting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the backyard. Looks like one of our cameras was hooked up. So now what we're going to do is we are going to charge this up first before taking it outside. I'm going to go and hook up the other camera as well so we can install them together. All right, so I'm going to go install my home base where it's supposed to be, but first I wanted to show you how to access the replaceable hard drive. So you're just going to push down here, and you can pull up. See, I just took that off. There's a screw right here that we need to loosen, and then we can pull up the hard drive. Once the screw is loosened, you take this part up and out, and your hard drive will be installed right in here. Of course, I don't have one, so I can't show that to you, but if I did, then I would just put it right back in. screw it down, and there you go. Now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do for the install, because actually showing it on camera won't be too easy. So you're going to quick loosen this part right up. You can take this off altogether. What you see here now is you reveal a spot that has 2 holes. Those 2 holes you're actually going to screw into the wall. As part of this kit, you have what's known as a positioning card, and all this is like a clear sticker almost, or a sticker that has 2 holes in it, and those 2 holes just line up here. I'm just going to screw them in directly. It's important to know how this works. You can see inside here this little ball. That ball actually rests on the top here, and that's what creates the tension so the camera does not fall. So what you're going to end up doing is you're going to end up putting this on here. Of course, now that ball has made connection. As you tighten this down, that ball comes to a point where it's hard to move. Of course, I'm going to spin mine this way, so this will be facing the ground. So if I need to be able to move the camera up and down, when I tighten it in, I won't be able to move it. So I'll do that to begin with. And then of course, I'll show you now how to screw this into the back of your camera. So this screw here aligns with the back of the camera, and you also have this nut right here. If you can't get it positioned correctly, this can reduce the amount of threads so it could be sitting there tight. So in a sense, you hook this up here, and I'm just going to start spinning the camera until it starts to lock in there. All right, so there we go. And that's the up part here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten this down so I know that's where my camera is going to sit. And of course, I can still angle it up and down. Now, if you want it to go more left or right, you want to make sure this opening is facing the direction you want to be able to move the camera. I'm going to go install mine now. I will show it to you installed, and of course, we can see what the video and audio looks like. Here's my final install location, and I like it here because of the convenience, and I can see the backyard, at least by the playground. But I am also a little worried that, well, this doesn't get a whole lot of sun coverage, so we'll see how that solar panel does. Just to give you a little bit of what I was talking about, there is partial sun here, but this huge tree covers a lot of the area, so it does also shade it. So right now I'm at 84% charged, and that's what it came from the factory. We'll see what it looks like in a week or so.
So, tell me, what are your thoughts of the eufyCam 3? Here we are at night with the floodlight on, so this is what you're going to see and hear. Right now I'm 15 feet away, and I've looked at some of this footage. I was actually pretty impressed. Now, yes, the floodlight is on, so it's lighting up this entire area, but I wanted to hear from you. What are your thoughts of the quality of the video and the audio of this camera? We've switched over to the black and white version, and yes, the sound and video is both coming from the eufyCam 3. Now, I do not have the floodlight on. This is a power-saving feature that Eufy provides, so you can save some of that battery, because you know what? If you don't have enough solar power, you might want to save your battery. But look at the video. This is definitely not as clear, and you can't really see who I am. I'm about 10 feet away right now, and yes, you can see someone, but unless you knew me, it doesn't really matter. Now, as I get closer, yeah, that definitely clarifies who the person is, but then again, I'm only 5 feet away from the camera. So in my opinion, if you can, make sure it's charged up all the time in full sun and use the floodlight. You definitely get a clearer view of who's there.
All right, so as we can see, after a week, we've gone up about 8% in the charge. Now, I have used this a lot, so maybe that battery has been used, but we started at 84, now we're at 92. So even with my limited sun coverage during the day, this camera is still getting the power it needs from the solar panel. In this video, we were looking at the eufyCam 3. It's their new 4K unit. So what did I think of it? First things first, let's talk about that price point. And boy, oh boy, is it a lot. Then again, you are investing in security, and it is comparable to other systems on this level. I do like that the cameras themselves are solar powered, so you don't have to worry about running wires, and that's the convenient part here. I should note that there were at least 2 times when I was testing this that the power at the house went out and the cameras just dropped offline. I know it's supposed to have an internal storage, but there was no video captured during the power outage. That's just something that I wanted you to be aware of. Yes, there's no wires. It's simple, easy install. But man, when that power goes out, so do your cameras. In my situation, I ended up putting them onto a battery backup system. So if the power does go out, at least I have a few hours of time that they're gonna keep up and running. I guess if you have a home generator, your problems are solved, but I don't have that just yet. So as for now, I'm using a battery backup system just in case. I liked how quick and easy these were to set up. The app was really user-friendly, and I had no errors as I was going through installing the system, and even connected to my Wi-Fi really fast. I was impressed with the responsiveness of the cameras. They are very quick to detect motion. I love having it hooked up to the Homebase 3 because I can go through the different types of AI, whether it's a human face, whether it's an animal, whether it's a car, all the different types of AI. It is really convenient. Then again, if your internet is just subpar or so-so, this thing is data hungry. So if your internet is not so well, this might not work as well for you. I live out in the country, so I have moderately okay internet, so these things worked well for me. But I did notice when the internet went down a little bit, the quality of the cameras and the responsiveness of the cameras dropped. You know what? I was really impressed that Eufy put in some security features, and I'm not just talking about the alarm that we heard earlier. I'm also talking about, man, theft protection. Once you get this thing locked in place, you click on the app and say, yep, I'm done. And if it gets moved, it has a loud siren both at your home base and on the camera. Now that's thinking ahead. In the end, I like having the added security to check in on things at my house. If this is something that interests you, I will leave a link down in the description. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. As always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day. I'm going to show you what the camera footage looked like. Right now I'm in 720p, so the lowest quality camera that you can. Let's zoom in on the slide. All right, you see how that slide looks really, really pixelated? Let's switch it from 720 to 1080. See how there's like a slight improvement? You can definitely see things a lot better. Now let's switch it to 2K. Of course, you got a little clearer, and then now, of course, let's go to 4K. And well, when it kicks in, there it is. It's a whole lot clearer when it's in 4K. Now, 4K uses more data, 4K uses more storage, but it is a lot clearer. I really do appreciate that you stayed around for my entire review of the eufyCam 3. You know what? Not that long ago, I reviewed one of Eufy's other products, and it's actually their wired wall light cam. What I'm going to do is I'm going to link that review right up here, and I would love it if you would click on this link. And when you do, by the magic of the internet, I'm going to join you right there. So go ahead, click it. It's safe, I promise.